So, I guess I'm gonna start an intro with I guess somewhat of a personal credo on a lot of things fantasy and a lot of things to do with my personal favorite role-playing system and my primary role-playing system, which is Dungeons and Dragons. I try to be pretty fluent in the different editions of D&D. I've learned much of the rules for the first edition. Second edition, I didn't really get around to learning those rules. 3.5 was my forte, something I played probably 4 years, 5 years of in total. Something that I played pretty profusely, something I played a lot. I jumped to 4th edition for a little while, but didn't really catch on to me and my group very well. Found it was too combat oriented for our group. In 5th edition, I've recently been adapting it to my groups, but I found that the game system is very nice. I feel like it's very streamlined, very great. Probably my favorite as of right now, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the stuff that's going to come out for those guys. But as far as things that I enjoy, personally speaking, I would say what makes a good game for me, and the reason why I play D&D a lot, is that I like a game that kind of depends on who's playing it. You know, the gameplay is based on who's playing, which seems very obvious at first, but I think deserves a little bit better explanation in that when I play with one of my groups, things get pretty wacky, pretty zany pretty quickly, and people resort to a lot of violence to solve a lot of their issues. Whereas one of my other groups, and I DM most of the time for my groups, but my other group is a lot more conversation oriented, and they're more immersed in their role playing. Which I prefer that overall. I feel like most of the time DMs will say they're very interested in deep immersion gaming, and a lot of times the DMs who are very interested in campaigns and things like that are usually, from my experiences, more interested in deep immersion. And I feel like my reasoning for why I love deep immersion game style, as opposed to hack and slash or somewhat of a mix between the two, is that it really makes the game worth playing. You know, it's the same reason why people come back to, any good TV series, or any movie series or anything like that. You can think of any of your favorites and think to the fact that if you don't get into the characters, if you don't find your favorites, if you don't find your favorite moments and things, and it's just a long cycle of hack and slash and chop up some bad orcs and some other guys who you think are bad because I don't know, the DM says they're bad. I find that that's just boring and you won't have anything to cling to. But in a game where you're very invested in your characters, very invested in the NPCs, and even invested in the villains in a way that, you hate the villain, your character has a reason to hate them, it leads for just a better game for everybody, and it pumps a lot of energy into the world and energy into the game. And so I guess I would say overall what really gets me into an RPG spirit, gets me into a gaming spirit, is deep immersion, something that keeps me coming back for more and more, something that makes me want to make new campaigns, and I get, this crazy character. I don't even know what to call it. I just go berserk and make new characters all the time because I'll come up with a cool new backstory or come up with a cool new campaign idea, and I'm oftentimes just spurting off making new ideas for adventures and have notebooks full of them because I get into the mind of a character. And so perhaps this is a plug for the rest of the videos I'm going to come out for my channel here, not to have a shameless plug for myself, but I'm probably going to have to explain a lot of my beliefs on a lot of characters, classes, and races, and my opinions on certain abilities that come along with certain editions, and my favorites with stuff like that, and what works really well with deep immersion. So if you are a player who wants, I guess, more tips on how to deeply immerse yourself, what it's like to be deeply immersed, or maybe if you feel completely against it and you feel that deep immersion's too slow, or it's too difficult, or it's a waste of time, then throw some of your opinions at me. But I would say the deep immersion is probably the only way to play the game that's worth playing the game. If you're not deeply immersed, you might as well be rolling dice in a game of Yahtzee or Monopoly or something where, it doesn't really matter the storyline. There's no reason behind why you're doing it apart from they're bad, I'm good, let's go kill it, let's get gold, let's get women, let's go get, estates, property, and stuff like that. If you're into the game for that, then so be it. But I wouldn't consider that Dungeons and Dragons. I'd consider that, I don't know, rolling dice and killing evil green guys. But if you have suggestions, or if you disagree, or if you agree, be sure to leave a comment right down there. Keep rolling 20s.